up, Taiwan? I'm Reece with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan has celebrated the addition of the latest vessel to its Coast Guard fleet. It comes as the country reports an increase in Chinese grey zone activities at sea. Alan Liu reports.
Here in northern Taiwan, the Coast Guard is taking delivery of a new patrol ship. The 1,000-ton vessel will be deployed in southern waters for support in maritime operations. The vessel, named the Penghu, is nearly 100 meters long and has a range of 6,000 nautical miles, or about 11,000 kilometers. It is designed to operate in heavy winds and is equipped with 2 water cannons capable of spraying up to 120 meters. This class of patrol vessel is designed to manage a whole host of operations in Taiwan's offshore waters: law enforcement, fisheries patrol, search and rescue missions, and response to gray zone activities.
我们这型的舰虽然号称是1000吨级但是满载排水量已经高达2100多吨了。那相较于过去的1000吨级巡防舰更长更大。
请接牌。
Besides taking delivery of the new vessel, the Coast Guard also launched its 6th patrol ship today, the Jilong. Under Taiwan's Coast Guard Vessel Development Program, the government plans to build a total of 141 ships by 2027. Only 2 vessels remain to be delivered, one 1,000-ton and one 600-ton patrol vessel.
这指的其实是我们国建国造，其中有关于海巡筹建海巡舰艇发展计划即将完成最后一块拼图。
On Monday, Reuters reported that Chinese Coast Guard and research vessels were spotted around Taiwan 55 times in June, a 120% increase from the same period last year. Some of the Coast Guard vessels were converted from Chinese military ships, raising concerns here. Taiwan's Coast Guard is meant to counter this kind of activity. As China continues to step up its gray zone activities at sea, demand for Coast Guard ships is also growing. By 2027, Taiwan plans to build a new fleet of similar vessels to help manage increasing threats. Devon Tai and Alan Liu in Keelung for TaiwanPlus.
China and the Philippines are blaming each other for a new clash in a disputed part of the South China Sea. John Van Trieste reports.
A fresh showdown between China and the Philippines in the South China Sea. In this Chinese footage, Philippine sailors in rubber dinghies challenge a Chinese Coast Guard boat off the disputed Second Thomas Shoal. China says the Philippine vessels were behaving aggressively. But this footage, released by the Philippines, tells a different story. Chinese Coast Guard personnel attacking the Philippine sailors with blunt weapons, not far from where the Philippines maintains a garrison outpost on the shoal. Manila says one of its sailors was struck with a baton. Both sides blamed the other for Monday's clash. China has kept up pressure on the Philippines here in the South China Sea, which it claims almost in its entirety. Beijing rejects an international ruling a decade ago in the Philippines' favor, and skirmishes like this one are the result. On the surface, it may seem like the timing of this clash could be significant. Relations between the two countries are tense, with a war of words and more, including a caricature of the Philippines in China's state media that Manila says is racist. The Philippines has just marked 10 years since the international arbitration in its favor. And Manila is just about to hold an international foreign ministers meeting that China's foreign minister Wang Yi, among others, will attend. But some analysts see all this as coincidence, part of an ebb and flow in tensions over many years that's unlikely to lead to a major escalation. They even say the potential impact on U.S.-China relations could be limited. The U.S. State Department condemned China's role in this clash, but Secretary of State Marco Rubio could still meet with China's Wang Yi on the sidelines in Manila.
There may be an exchange of angry words, but unless there is further accumulation of events and potentially further escalation, if things get more tense, then perhaps it could become an issue. But for right now, I'm guessing that there could be some sharp words exchanged, but nothing really beyond that.
Taiwan has its own claims in the South China Sea, including over Second Thomas Shoal. The Foreign Ministry has condemned China's use of violence and urged both sides to exercise restraint and respect international law.
在此也要呼吁相关国家维护区域的和平稳定，以及以国际法与联合国海洋法公约为基础的国际海洋秩序。
With Beijing's rejection of the ruling on its maritime claims, though, peace and stability may continue to be relative terms in these contested waters. Andy Xue and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Tokyo says a Chinese destroyer held live fire drills within what Japan claims as its exclusive economic zone early Sunday. Japan's self-defense force says the destroyer was operating off Japan's Okino Torishima alongside 2 other Chinese naval vessels and 1 Russian Navy ship. This is the first time Japan has disclosed Chinese live fire drills within what it claims as its economic waters. Though the drills did not break international rules, Tokyo says it closely monitored the ships. China is showcasing its latest artificial intelligence technology at its biggest AI conference in Shanghai. But beyond the displays, Beijing is using the event to promote itself as a global AI leader, offering an open-source alternative to the US-led approach. Lily Lamatina reports.
An entire hall of humanoid robots, dancing, boxing, and looking eerily human-like. This is the 2026 World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai, where Chinese companies are showcasing how quickly the country's artificial intelligence technology is advancing. But the technology on display is only part of the story. The conference has also become a stage for China's global ambitions. Chinese President Xi Jinping used the platform to cast Beijing as the champion of a new global AI order, one that challenges the U.S.
帮助全球南方国家加强能力建设，弥合数质鸿沟，促进可持续发展，避免在人工智能领域造成新的历史不公。
Xi's keynote pitched China's AI coalition as a rival to the U.S.-led Pax Silica initiative to secure global AI and critical mineral supply chains. He framed China's open-source models as a public good, where Beijing would share technology and expertise with countries across the global south. And analysts say China's rapid advancement in open-source models gives that message added weight.
China is obviously doing extremely well in open models right now. Many of the most advanced open models are coming out of China. There's a really vibrant ecosystem of open AI coming out of China right now. And I think that from the US perspective, if those models were to have advanced cyber capabilities in the way that Mythos does, that would be a huge concern.
That confidence was echoed on the exhibition floor. Chinese participants say they believe that although China has trailed the U.S. in the most advanced AI models, that gap is narrowing fast.
我觉得从大模型来说，肯定还是稍微略微落后一些，但是并不是无法追赶的。至少今天我来逛的感受就是，我们有信心能在短时间内，或者说在3年5年的时间内去赶上美国的这样的一个基础模型的能力。
Across the exhibition halls, conversations also went beyond product demonstrations, with international visitors exploring new business opportunities. As Washington and Beijing compete for leadership in artificial intelligence, China's biggest AI gathering is becoming more than just new technology. It's a signal that the AI race between the US and China is heating up rapidly. Patrick Chun and Lily Lamatina for TaiwanPlus.
A former TSMC employee could face jail time for stealing trade secrets for China in what prosecutors are calling the first case of its kind. The defendant, a former deputy manager surnamed Cheng, is accused of copying 21 of the company's confidential documents. Prosecutors are recommending a 7-year sentence. He's charged with violating Taiwan's National Security Act for attempting to steal trade secrets for use in China. The case came to light during an investigation into a spy ring tied directly to the Chinese military. Chen and others had planned to recruit Taiwanese semiconductor talent to work for a Chinese firm. The government watchdog says justice is due for a key figure in Taiwan's democratic movement who died during the country's martial law period. Zheng Nan-jung, also known as Nan-jung, was the editor-in-chief of an independent magazine that openly criticized the then-authoritarian government. When police tried to arrest him for sedition in 1989, he set his office on fire and died in the blaze. The Control UN says the charges against Zheng didn't have sufficient legal basis. It also says corruption and illegal use of law enforcement were crucial factors leading to his death. With these findings, the Control UN urges government compensation for Zheng's family. A new law protecting delivery workers is now in force in Taiwan. The new rules address concerns that delivery platforms have had too much power over their workers. Drivers are now guaranteed a minimum amount per delivery, and platforms must operate with greater transparency when it comes to assignments and contracts. Meanwhile, consumers will have more rights on subscriptions, fees, and refunds. Delivery worker unions have welcomed the new law, but leading platforms like Foodpanda and Uber Eats say they may have to raise prices to comply with it. When a roadway in one of Taiwan's national parks was cut off, a local species of land crab was also blocked from reaching the sea. Local residents stepped in to help them find new access routes for their migration. Tim Smith has this story.
On this road running through southern Taiwan's Taichung National Park, flashlights and headlamps cut a bright swath through the dark, shining on a cast of crabs scuttling their way to nearby waters. These are just a handful of Taiwan's largest known population of terrestrial crabs. Known as mangrove land crabs or chestnut crabs, their breeding season runs from July to November. But this road also poses dangers, especially for mother crabs who must return to the ocean to deposit their eggs. Volunteers and park officials became aware of their perilous situation.
会有钓客会来这边看落日，这边的夕阳是很漂亮。那他们车子开进来的话，就很容易产生路杀。那台江国家公园他们就，跟社区沟通，然后还有就是一些喜欢这边生态的志工，就加入来这边就来护蟹的保护它。所以现在是有交通管制的，繁殖期是有交通管制的，来保护，让那个蟹妈妈能够顺利的下去将来食用。
But these mother crabs can only deposit their eggs at the water's edge. To get there, they must cross either the road or travel through tidal creek beds. Both choices can be risky.
那因为潮沟水没有办法，因为潮汐的关系，然后要整个干枯，然后它是用走了过来。现在潮沟里面有水的话，它变成要用潜水。潜水对一个富人家来讲的话是不 OK 的，没有大肚子在涉水的。
Volunteers have come to the rescue. Cheng and his cousin built a bridge from bamboo, spanning this concrete channel. To the crabs, it's a welcome shortcut. But bridges aren't the only thing to have a huge impact. Locals play a big role in data tracking and controlling traffic, and they're hoping younger generations will also carry the torch.
我觉得保育工作就是我们要让后代的人可以看到我们现在所看到的东西，而不是。 到最后就是口耳相传。
Local kids have also taken to the crab's plight.
因为呢，我就会感觉他要过马路，然后就会感觉他们很辛苦，然后呢就过来看他们，然后看他们过马路就可以帮他们看一下有没有车子啊这些过去就引到他们。
And all these actions are making a difference. Crab populations in this part of southern Taiwan have rebounded from around 5,000 just a few years ago to over 10,000 last year. And though this crab species isn't protected, park personnel do think they are a key part of the local ecology.
它可以把我们一些所有的这种营养盐再重新恢复到土地里面去，会让海岸林更为丰盛啊，因为这是营养嘛，所以你保护的路蟹，就整个海岸林带都可以做保护嘛。然后海岸林带有可能可以固沙、定沙，防风，避免那个海水的冲击嘛。这是一系列，虽然从路蟹开始。
So, with care and creativity, watchful locals and bridges keep these crabs moseying along, from side to side. Alex Cheng and Tim Smith for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we take you to Madrid, where huge crowds gathered to celebrate Spain's World Cup champions. I'm Reece. Take care and see you next time.